Elon Musk, a name that's as famous for courting controversy as it is for innovation. And while the famous phrase, there's no such a thing as bad publicity, might ring true, it depends on how much.
Musk is known as a visionary entrepreneur, credited for pushing the boundaries of electric vehicles, space exploration, and artificial intelligence. Known for his ambitious goals and controversial style, he's reshaping industries and sparking global conversations on technology and the future. Love him or hate him, Musk is a game changer. Join us as we break down the milestones of his career and uncover his top 10 business rules for success, straight from the man himself. Elon Musk wasn't always the larger-than-life figure we know today. He started out as a shy, curious kid with a serious passion for tech. By the age of 10, he was already teaching himself how to code. Little did he know, those early programming lessons were the first step toward becoming a tech mogul. In his teen years, Elon Musk made the big move from South Africa to Canada and later to the US to continue his education. He graduated in physics and even enrolled at a top Ivy League university. But here's the twist. He dropped out after just 2 days to chase his entrepreneurial dreams. Bold move, right? No hard feelings. This led him to create some of the most groundbreaking tech of recent years. Elon had this bold dream to make space travel cheaper and eventually help humans live on other planets. But it wasn't smooth sailing. There were plenty of bumps along the way. But everything changed when SpaceX scored a NASA contract. That deal gave the company the boost it needed and sparked a whole new era of space exploration. Next, Elon turned his interest to electric cars, aiming to make sustainable energy a reality. With some game-changing models, he didn't just push limits, he redefined the auto industry. His vision turned electric cars from a niche concept into the future of transportation. After revolutionizing the auto industry, Elon shifted gears and set his sights on solar energy by backing a company founded by his cousins and which he later acquired through Tesla. He wanted to bring all-in-one sustainable energy to power homes. With solar panels and energy storage systems, he aimed to create a future where homes could run on clean, renewable energy. Musk went even further, creating a new company tasked to tackle urban congestion with innovative solutions, and even started exploring tech-brain interfaces. His goal? To take on some of humanity's biggest challenges and change the world in ways we never imagined. If it's not clear already, he's definitely not slowing down anytime soon. It wasn't long before he went ahead and acquired a social media giant for a hefty sum. His plans? To shake things up by introducing new features, open-source algorithms, fresh ways to tackle spam, and even verifying all users. His big vision? To make Twitter better than ever and take it to the next level. It remains uncertain whether he succeeded, but it was undoubtedly a noteworthy attempt. Just when you thought Elon couldn't do more, he launched his plan to provide high-speed internet to underserved areas around the globe through thousands of satellites. This wasn't just about faster Wi-Fi, it's already starting to bridge the digital divide, connecting people in places that were once left behind. Elon's vision? To make sure no one's left out of the digital age. Elon Musk is definitely a polarizing figure. He's made headlines for his unconventional methods and outspoken personality, and let's just say some of it has cost him millions in wealth in the short term. But here's the thing, whether people love him or hate him, Elon isn't afraid to ruffle feathers. He's always pushing boundaries no matter the backlash. True to his independent style, Elon Musk has always championed tech-friendly, forward-thinking policies, often crossing traditional party lines in the process. He started by joining advisory councils to offer insights on innovation, but when their decisions didn't align with his commitment to sustainability, he didn't hesitate to step down. In 2024, Musk made headlines for his influence in helping Trump secure the presidency, sparking debates about his growing role in politics. From rockets to electric cars to solar energy and satellites, Elon's legacy is still unfolding. Let's take a look at Elon's top business rules from the man himself. Don't forget to hit subscribe and to like this video.
1.
Some of them are going to sound like, well, you've heard it before, but it's worth re-emphasizing. I think the first is you need to work, depending upon how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. So what does super hard mean? Well, when my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hot up we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time. And I sort of briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she had to sleep in the office. So work hard, like every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company. And if you do simple math, say like, okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company. The other thing I'd say is that if you're creating a company or if you're joining a company, the most important thing is to attract great people. So either join a group that's amazing, that you really respect, or if you're building a company, you've got to gather great people. All a company is a group of people that have gathered together to create a product or service. And so depending upon how talented and hardworking that group is, and the degree to which they are focused cohesively in a good direction, that will determine the success of the company.
2.
The great thing about sort of software or anything which just involves intellectual capital of you and a few friends, is that you can just do it. So that's why doing some sort of internet thing or software thing is great as an initial company to create. And that's why Zip2 and PayPal, they gave me the capital to attempt to do more capital-intense activities. As far as idea generation, I think I tend to think of things from a sort of physics standpoint, like from a first principle standpoint, what would be the best way to accomplish something, and then pursue that. And that's also a good way to determine if there's if something's far from its optimum. Like on rockets, for example, one could say, that you could reason by analogy and say the rocket's going to cost a certain amount because that's what prior rockets have cost. Or you can say, well, what is a rocket made of? What are the material constituents? What do they weigh? What's the cost per unit mass? And that sets the limit asymptotically for what a rocket can be. So if you can figure out some creative way to rearrange those elements into a rocket shape, then you can achieve a much better outcome. That's the first principles approach. And I think also just combining ideas from different industries is really helpful for innovation. So what have people discovered in one industry, and can that be applied to other industries? That's, I think, also a great source of ideas. But you usually just struggle on a solution, and you try a bunch of things. Some of them don't work, and most of them don't work, and occasionally one does. Yeah.
3.
A company is a group of people that are organized to create a product or service. That's what a company is. So in order to create such a thing, you have to convince others to join you in your effort. And so they have to be convinced that
that it's a sensible thing, that that there's at least some reasonable chance of success, and if there is success, that the reward will be commensurate with the effort involved, so I think that's getting people to believe in what you're doing and in you is important. So in the beginning, there will be few people who believe in you or in what you're doing, but then over time, as you make progress, the evidence will build, and more people will believe in what you're doing. So I think it's a good idea when creating a company to have a demonstration, or if it's a product, to have like a good mock-up, or if it's software, to have good demoware, or to be able to sketch something so that people can really envision what it's about. Try to get to that point as soon as possible, and then iterate to make it as real as possible, as fast as possible. I don't know if that makes sense. But.
4.
I've been writing software for a long time, but I actually wrote the first maps and directions on the internet, the first white pages, the first yellow pages, by myself. And then, we hired a few interns, and then my brother joined, another friend of mine, Greg Curry, who's passed away, and then we got some venture funding. I thought it was crazy that these guys were going to give us they gave us like $3 million, and I was like, this is insane. It's just us and some interns. And they're giving us $3 million. This is crazy. They must be mad.
So I think what I'm hearing you say is, if the first most critical part of the team is you, as the founder and the passionate individuals.
Try to do useful things.
Let's try and squeeze in a few more.
I think the things you have to remember, for SpaceX, it was just literally like, okay, we should become multi-planet species, and. But these are like long answers. So, but I think in general, if you want to recruit people that are, really talented and driven, you have to state what's the mission, what's the problem we're trying to solve,
yep.
and just be clearly willing to pour a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, and have a convincing argument for why it matters.
Yep.
There's there's three major things for. In terms of motivation, it's like, first of all, somebody's got to look forward to coming to work in the morning. Like, if they're, are they enjoying the work itself intrinsically? That's very important. And the right work environment can really make a big difference there. I think ideally is that they also feel like that their rewards will receive fair financial compensation, like that the financial rewards are good and fair. And then third, for the best people in the world, they'll want to know, is what they're doing going to matter?
Yeah.
If they spend 10 years doing this, will it make a difference to the world, or will people notice? Will it matter?
5.
I suppose honestly that it tends to be gut feel more than anything else. So when I interview somebody, my interview question is always the same. It's
what do you ask?
I said, tell me the story of your life, and the decisions that you made along the way and why you made them. And then, and also tell me about some of the most difficult problems you worked on and how you solved them. And that question, I think, is very important, because the people that really solved the problem, they know exactly how they solved it. They know the little details. And the people that pretended to solve the problem, they can maybe go one level and then they get stuck.
6.
But I put a lot of stock and certainly have a lot of respect for someone who puts in an honest day's work to do useful things. And just generally to have not a zero-sum mindset, or have more of a grow the pie mindset. If you sort of say when I see people perhaps including some very smart people
kind of taking an attitude of like doing things that seem like morally questionable, it's often because they have at a base sort of axiomatic level a zero-sum mindset, and they, without realizing it, they don't realize they have a zero-sum mindset, or at least they don't realize it consciously. And so if you have a zero-sum mindset, then the only way to get ahead is by taking things from others. If it's like if the pie is fixed, then the only way to have more pie is to take someone else's pie. But this is false. Like, obviously the pie has grown dramatically over time, the economic pie. So in reality, you can have so overuse this analogy. You can have there's a lot of pie.
Yeah,
pie is not fixed.
Yes.
So you really want to make sure you're not operating without realizing it from a zero-sum mindset, where the only way to get ahead is to take things from others. Then that's going to result in you trying to take things from others, which is not good. It's much better to work on adding to the economic pie. Maybe, so creating, like I said, creating more than you consume, doing more than you, So that's a big deal. I think there's like a fair number of people in finance that do have a bit of a zero-sum mindset.
7.
Well, if you're trying to convince the public to do something, you have to say, okay, how's this going to read? And what message are we going to try to convey? What will people respond to? What would I respond to if I was, sort of an objective member of the public? And so that's really, if you're trying to change people's minds or get people fired up about something, then you got to think, okay, what's that message? What's going to get them really excited?
8.
I don't really like risk for risk's sake or anything. And I do think that a lot of things are very risky with a low chance of success. But if you want to try to come up with an innovative breakthrough, that's going to be how it is. Anything which is significantly innovative is going to come with a significant risk of failure. But if you've got to take big chances in order for the potential for a big positive outcome. If the outcome is exciting enough, then taking a big risk is worthwhile.
Yeah.
That's really how I approach it. But then once executing down a path, I actually do my absolute best to reduce risk. Because. Or to improve another way of saying it, to improve the probability of success, because when you try to do something that is very, very risky, that you have to spend a lot of effort trying to reduce that risk as you embark down that path. I mean, when I started SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were very low. I thought we'd most likely fail, but I thought, well, we should give it a try nonetheless. And then I'm not sure if you know what preceded SpaceX, because or why I got into the space.
Well, I remember you trying to purchase a vehicle too from our Russian colleagues.
Yeah, that's right.
What you're talking about? Yeah.
Well, actually, it was the reason I got into space was to try to increase NASA's budget.
Well, God bless you then.
So I'll tell you, so the roundabout way I thought that might be accomplished was, I thought, well, if NASA's budget was larger, then we could do more in space exploration. And I thought, well, particularly if we could get the public excited about sending people to Mars. And I thought, well, if I could do a small greenhouse and send that to the surface of Mars with seeds in nutrient gel, and you hydrate the gel on landing, you have a little miniature greenhouse, and then you'd have, the public tends to get excited about precedents and superlatives, so it'd be like the, sort of first life on Mars, the furthest life's ever traveled, and you get people sort of excited about, well, but maybe we should send people there, like, the hell with plants, we should send people,
Right.
And then I thought, well, that could, if that could
get the public really excited about sending fuel to Mars, then that would translate into congressional support for a bigger NASA budget. That was the goal. And then I didn't have enough money to buy, and I thought that outcome would have a 100% chance of no commercial success. So the 100% chance of losing all the money. So compared to that, SpaceX, which I thought maybe had a 10% chance of success, that was an improvement.
9.
So I'd say I actually think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly. But there are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear.
So speaking of important things,
Like people shouldn't think, people shouldn't think, well, I feel fear about this and therefore I shouldn't do it. It's normal to feel fear. Like you'd have to be something mentally wrong if you didn't feel fear.
so you just feel it and let the importance of it drive you to do it anyway.
Yeah, actually, something that can be helpful is fatalism, to some degree. If you just accept the probabilities, then that diminishes fear. When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%, and I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything. But that maybe would make some progress if we could just move the ball forward. Even if we died, maybe some other company could pick up the baton and keep moving it forward, so that would still do some good. Yeah, same with Tesla. I thought the odds of a car company succeeding were extremely low.
10.
Do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, to the world. It's very hard to be useful. Very hard. Are you contributing more than you consume? Can you try to have a positive net contribution to society? I think that's the thing to aim for. Not to try to be sort of a leader for the sake of being a leader or whatever. A lot of the time, the people you want as leaders are the people who don't want to be leaders. So, if you can live a useful life, that is a good life. A life worth having lived. And like I said, I would encourage people to use the mental tools of physics and apply them broadly in life. They are the best tools.
The Best of Business Show is brought to you by the BASA Awards. The BASA Awards exist to recognize, reward, and promote exceptional small businesses. We run 4 award programs: Best of America, Best of Australia, Best of Canada, Best of UK. Remember, it's strictly for small businesses only. Nominate your business today.